I want to bring in now RNC co-chair Lara Trump. She's also former President Trump's daughter-in-law, and she delivered the keynote speech here last night. Lara, thank you for being with us.
Thank you, guys.
Give us a sense of what we heard last night. It sounded like you were trying to broaden the base or reach outside the base. Is that key to the strategy?
Well, we have to. I mean, we cannot only talk to Republicans alone. I think you have to reach out to the entire country. And my goal last night was truly to humanize Donald Trump. You know, I think there's a lot that gets said about this man. And I wanted to bring a picture of him that I know out to the American people. And I wanted them to see the Donald Trump I know as a father-in-law, as a father to my husband, Eric, and of course as a grandfather to my children. But certainly we have to, as a party, continue to reach out to every American, and we have to, Lester, broaden the base, for sure.
This convention seems to have studiously avoided some of the more inflammatory topics, the false claims of a stolen election, January 6th. We were talking a moment ago, weaponizing the Justice Department. Is that a part of the strategy?
Well, I think it's interesting. You talk to a lot of the speakers here. A lot of people changed their speeches after Saturday. And you may have actually heard a little bit more of those topics had Saturday not happened. And
so there wasn't like a directive from the RNC, don't touch it,
not at all.
Button issues.
In fact, we actually told people, please write your own speeches. And all of these people who you're hearing from tonight, especially these, everyday Americans, which is what we wanted to deliver here. We wanted to show these people, they all wrote their own speeches. So we didn't have a directive. I think this is just the forward motion of this party, and we are thinking forward. We're thinking about the next 4 years and what Donald Trump can actually deliver to the American people. That's our strategy.
I've got to ask you about this breaking news. President Biden diagnosed with COVID. He's returning to Delaware to recover. Your reaction to that?
Well, gosh, I wish him well. I hope he gets well soon. Obviously, my father-in-law knows better than anyone what it's like to have COVID in the White House, because he did. Listen, I think that we're at a time where the Democrats are struggling as a party, and I think that they've had a hard time convincing the American people that Joe Biden is the strong leader that this country needs. I don't think this helps that argument in any way. Obviously, we're on the tail end now. We're coming into the third night of our convention. They still have theirs to come. It'll be interesting to see how this factors in.
Well, let me ask you that, because there were some developments there. I mean, it's Democrat family business, but you bring it up. Congressman Adam Schiff, who's a close ally of former Speaker Pelosi, called for him to step aside today. There have been conversations with Senator Schumer and President Biden, blunt conversations, one-on-one. What do you think will happen? Do you think that Joe Biden will be the nominee come November?
He certainly has said he's not leaving, but he did say he would not consider leaving this race unless he had some medical reason to do so. I obviously hope the COVID is not a problem for him, but I think he's been very stern in that. Now, as far as I'm concerned, we don't care from the RNC who it is that Donald Trump is running.
I was going to ask you, is Joe Biden your preferred opponent?
Quite frankly, I think the message we're delivering is, remember Donald Trump's 4 years in office. Remember how the economy was, how secure the border was, how we didn't have new wars starting, and instead we had peace agreements. So we really don't care, Savannah, whether it's Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, or another candidate. We are prepared to deliver Donald Trump a victory on November 5th.
This convention feels like a celebration, as if this is a done deal, like the balloons are about to drop right now. Is that something that worries you? We've all seen, how quickly things can turn on a dime.
Yeah, no, certainly we cannot take our foot off the gas. You can never take anything for granted. I mean, you look at the polling from 2016, and it would have suggested that Donald Trump should have never had a shot at becoming president, and we all know how that turned out. So, look, we feel like we have the wind in our sails. We feel a lot of momentum as a party right now. This is a great environment. There's a lot of energy, but we have to play the game up until the buzzer sounds the last second of that game on November 5th, and that's what we intend to do.
You want to see a debate between the vice president and J.D. Vance?
I think debate is good. I think more debates, as we've said from this campaign and the RNC, are always better than fewer debates. That's why my father-in-law said yes to the June 27th debate. He said yes to future debates with Joe Biden. And I think to see the vice presidential candidates debate, absolutely.
Well, it's interesting because the Vance campaign said today, Kamala Harris has asked for a date, given a date saying, will you agree to a debate? And they said, well, we can't because we don't know who the vice presidential nominee will be. Okay, you got your dig in about the Democrats. Yeah, you got your dig in. But why stall? why not set the date, and whoever shows up, you're ready to debate?
I'm fairly certain that J.D. Vance is prepared to debate Kamala Harris or whoever the candidate might be for the vice presidential ticket on the Democrat side. This is a man who obviously has had a very fast rise to fame in Senator Vance. We're obviously going to hear from him tonight. And I think he is so articulate. He's so smart. He delivers a great message, and I think he would be great in a debate.
Lara Trump, thank you very much for being with us tonight. We appreciate
Great having you on. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.